Hi everybody, so I want to do a bit more of a casual video, so me just sort of sitting here talking about things like I did with the Adobe video, have my thoughts on the situation in the creative space. But this time I want to talk about a bit more about my manga series and my origins as sort of the project and an author, I guess. So since I was little, I've always been creative, I always liked to draw and stuff like that. And then totally got into Marvel Comics when I was a little kid. Absolutely fell in love with Stan Lee in the 90s. Art style, really dark and gritty and stuff like that. Just something absorbed me into it, and I was a big Spidey fan. I know it wasn't dark storytelling, but I just liked the art style when it was like more edgy, if you know what I mean, at the time. And then obviously that time went on, and I started to try and write my own sort of comic series. Didn't really turn out. I was a kid, what do you expect? And then as I got a little bit older, and when I was nearing 13, when I started VTLS, I tried to do this manga called Half Angel, and I started to get into a little bit of manga then, and I started reading Hellsing and stuff like that. And eventually Nikhail was the villain and Jamia was the hero at the time, and it was a completely new world fantasy, not like why I've had it set up today. I just couldn't get my heart into it. And then I kind of looked closely at the characters and the way I wrote them, and then looked at Hellsing a little bit more closer, and I went, well, what if we just expanded the dark modern day fantasy instead of just having just a vampire or just a couple werewolf races or whatever? Like, we actually had a full-on, modern day fantasy setting where maybe like elves and dwarves do live in this world, or mummies and vampires, not just vampires but mummies, and like all sorts of sci-fi slash fantasy stuff that you would probably have in a modern day. And I based it on this world and kind of used its history as a jumping point for the lore, and say there's a hidden history and stuff like that. So it started to build up a bit, and this is where at the time also I lost faith in Christianity, because my granddad died, and I just lost faith, and I started studying a lot of other religions, which helped me build up the lore of how the world works. And then that's how it was born, like literally out of that. And then Nikhail became the hero of the story, the protagonist, and Jamia became a psychopathic priest and villain instead of an angel. So it kind of worked out a lot in a way. And it's amazing kind of looking back on it now, like quite a long time ago, and go, oh my god, like I was 13 now I'm 37, released my book about almost 11 years ago, and I think the first book was released almost 11 years ago. I have to double check. But yeah, it's just sort of, it's been a journey. It's been a very, very long journey. And if you want to check it out, guys, you can get it, like the legacy versions before my revamp of Volume 1 Vamp Lost Soul, released as Hoseki on Amazon Kindle Google Play Books. So if you want to go support me, check it out. It will really mean a lot to me. If you just want to support me in general, just like, comment and follow, and I'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed this, by the way. If you want more of this, let me know down below.